A lot of people ask me like, what do your best clients have in common? And I'll always say a few things. One, you're going to be at a point in business at some moment where things aren't moving and you start to lack a bit of belief of like, okay, am I really ever going to get this breakthrough to this next level? And Spen is a prime example that you will, and you're much closer than you think to the next milestone and breakthrough in your business. What's up, team? Going to be joined in a second, sitting right here, Spen, one of my amazing clients who joined FitPro CEO last June. So she's been with us 13 months. She's here this weekend in Portugal. Yeah, just a crazy journey she's been on. From the first phase of the business was helping her leave her 9-to-5 and move fully online. And then going through the process of like becoming that person who is working for themselves fully, doesn't have that 9-to-5, which is an identity shift in itself, and kind of like navigating that process together. It was actually at the start of last month in June, I was sitting down in Italy, in Lake Como, getting through check-ins, and one check-in from Spen was just feeling a bit lost and feeling that, you know, she was putting in the effort and she just wasn't getting the return she needed. And for me, I take a huge amount of pride and a huge amount of responsibility in every single client in terms of how they're doing, especially clients who I know are putting in the work and deserve to be in a certain position. So I knew something wasn't clicking. I wasn't happy with it. So I messaged back saying we need a call next week. And since that moment, the strategy that we went through, the change she's seen in her business, it's been nothing short of incredible. And the difference she's made from the amount of people she's kind of capturing and getting attention and getting known, and her connection piece of building that trust and conversion has led her crazy numbers. I think over like 10,000 added in Instagram and under the last month, record number of sign-ups. I can't even remember how much. She's over doubled her income goal last month, and this was at the start of the month where she was on track for, you know, a month where it was going to be one of her lowest months. And obviously a reason we got on the call because things weren't moving in the way that we needed for that next stage. And then this month, 7 days into the month, she already hit her more than her income goal for the last month. So the change in the short space of time has been amazing. Spen's an absolute legend. You'll see in a sec, just a really amazing person. I feel very privileged and lucky to get to coach her, and I think you'll find her story inspiring. One, if you're someone who is in a position where you want to take online full time and maybe struggling to do so. But I think more importantly for everyone, whatever stage you're at, is you're going to be at a point in business at some moment where things aren't moving and you start to lack a bit of belief of like, okay, am I really ever going to get this breakthrough to this next level? And Spen is a prime example that you will, and you're much closer than you think to the next milestone and breakthrough in your business. So strap in and hope you enjoy.
I was like, wow, what a month. It's been a journey.
So Spen was just saying off camera there that a post made a few days ago about her journey from actually in a very short space of time. So how she was feeling last month in June versus towards the end of June into July. Just the growth that she had in her business and just a bit of change in positioning and what that did for her in terms of interest. But I actually want to speak more on the kind of like emotion side first. Talk me through, I suppose, you looking through that and seeing the change in how you were feeling and how your business was doing.
Yeah, I feel like seeing the post, like obviously like I do like little bits of journaling and stuff every morning, but I feel like seeing it like so like black and white of actually literally that it was like a month apart, like the difference of like, because I can also tell like how like, not like sad, because like I'm still fairly upbeat most of the time, but I could definitely tell like my energy was like different in those check-ins. And so like to see that, then to see like where I'm in that month, and then even now like this month, it's just crazy. Like I've been speaking to everybody like on this trip. It just feels like those are the kinds of things that are like happening for other people, like not myself. So then like seeing myself in it, I'm like, are we sure? Like, is it actually happening? So yeah, it's just been crazy. Like, I guess just proving to myself that I can do it as well, which has been really cool.
And then I think it's having, so for a bit of context, Spen started working with myself back June 2025 with the biggest goal of leaving her 9-to-5, which you left, what month did you leave?
I handed in my notice in November.
So that was one thing of like that belief shift of going from, okay, can I actually do this full time? But then there's like a secondary moment of you're now fully online yourself, and then feeling like that kind of like next stage of growth wasn't maybe happening in the way that we wanted, or you know, there's more kind of difficulty with it. So for you, like, how's that from, I suppose, going from, you know, let's take it back to last June of how you felt then to, I suppose, the high of November to maybe the ebbs and flows that come with everything.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think like with like everything, like what you don't know, and I think that was genuinely the biggest change for me because like I didn't really know too many coaches, and like the coaches I did know wouldn't speak about it, so I didn't really know like really much about like how to grow a business, and so just even joining the mentorship, there were so many things that I was learning, and I feel like I had like joined the mentorship with obviously like high hopes, as everybody does, but then I think I realized how much I needed to learn before I could get there, and I think like I'm really grateful for the process because I think if I'd maybe ended up in like with like different people around me, I could have been almost pushed too soon to grow too much before I was even like having the foundation to do it. Because like I remember like I had that one video that had done really, really well, and I was like, oh, like, should I start doing something with it? And you're like, maybe let's like let's hold on, let's like build a little bit first. And I feel like now looking back, like that was like definitely the right decision because now I feel so much more capable of handling this stuff, and like I've just grown so much to understand the business. So it has been such like an up and down, but like I think also just like knowing that like I've got you like every week to be like everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
I know everything feels crap right now, but it's gonna be okay. And I'll be like, all right, Connor says it's gonna be fine, so it will be fine. That is it. Do you know what I mean?
And then from, I suppose, the kind of like high of even the 9 to 5 and going full time, I think what a lot of people watching can, regardless of what chapter they're at, kind of being at a moment, because it happens for all of us at different stages. So, you know, you'll hit a certain milestone and there's just the ebbs and flows of it. So for anyone watching who's maybe feels like they've plateaued at a certain area and it's like getting through that next stage, like is there any advice or any kind of like lesson that you've learned from that?
I think in terms of like the decision, I guess, to leave my job, I think I had been at that place where like, especially when you are working full time, like it's comfortable and like obviously you don't really grow when you're comfortable. And I remember my boyfriend had said to me, like he had a friend who'd left his full-time job to do like producing full-time, and he was like, yeah, he just basically found a date and stuck to it. And at first I was like, absolutely not gonna happen, like you just don't get it, like no. And then like I sat with it, and then I was like, oh, you know what, I was like, flipping heck, probably a good idea. And then I remember I said, I was like, okay, end of the year, I'm gonna leave my job. And then that's when I'd first started hearing about like mentorship as well, and I was like, oh, this actually could be really sick. So that's when I had reached out, and I feel like it's until you like put a bit of pressure on yourself, of a bit of urgency, that you actually start really taking action. Because like I wouldn't have ever, I think, started doing mentorship if I hadn't had that like, okay, I'm here, and to go full time I need to be here, and I have no idea how to get there. So I feel like it's knowing when to put a bit of like pressure on yourself and a bit of urgency without it obviously being like, don't like just quit like tomorrow. Be like, let's figure it out.
So true.
Yeah. So
true. And then I suppose for like how just over the last month has gone in terms of inquiries, record amount of sign-ups, record amount of revenue, obviously loads of positives to do with that, but something I know we spoke about, which I think will probably be a big part of what we do moving forward, is the identity for you, and maybe feeling, is it imposter syndrome the right word, or kind of feeling like, okay, now I'm getting this busy, like how do you actually show up as that person? So how are you feeling with that side of things? And
I would say honestly, like being at the mastermind this weekend has changed my perspective a lot on that, like, and I think it's just like helping me realize that like the tools are all there, I just have to find the right ones for me in my business, and then also just like believe that I can do it. Because like if you had told me like at the beginning of June or like at the end of May that I would be in this position now, I'd probably be like losing my mind of like stress, of excitement, of like how am I going to handle it. But then like I've been handling it for the past 4 weeks, so I feel like it is just kind of believing that, but then also like making sure I'm keeping myself to like the standards that I need to be at, and just like having the discipline in the areas that I need to, also allowing myself a little bit of freedom to have a little bit of fun. Do you know what I mean?
But I think that's so important. I think when when you're getting that momentum and that belief, it's like really, really lean into it, because you'll look at like coaches with a certain amount of clients, a certain amount of revenue, or a certain amount of coaches, and you're like, hey, like what was it that got them there? But what you need to understand, and we all need to understand, is like they were in that moment that we've all been in of like, you know, feeling like we're in a bit of a plateau, or what's the next breakthrough, and you get that breakthrough and you just lean into it and you become that person. Because we look at the kind of coach like Amanda and Daniel who are here, for example, you would be like, oh, they've always been that way. Like that's just like what we assume.
Yeah.
Because that's what people will think about you now, and especially in the future as well. And they won't realize what you've kind of been through to get there. So I almost think it's that thing of like really just backing yourself and saying like, I am this person.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, that's just been something, like I went from living in my family home 2020 to a year later being in Dubai, being able to move into like 2-bedroom gorgeous apartment, and that like a 12-month time period in my life has like completely changed. But for I just allowed myself to be like, no, like this is just who I am. Like, and because the other thing is like people will see you in that way, and people will look to you for inspiration and to lead them. So if you can just be like, yeah, I'm going to show up as this person.
It's like just a decision at the end of the day. It's like
100%.
become the kind of person you need to be, and just like do it long enough until you are that
100%.
person.
100%. And I think for anyone watching, if I was to give you advice, I think Spen is a great example. A lot of people ask me like, what do your best clients have in common? And I'll always say a few things. One, it's a willingness to learn, which you do. Two, having no ego, being able to come into a process and just being able to completely implement with no ego attached to it. And thirdly, like speed of execution, which Spen is incredible executor. Like we'll have do different calls, and like Hayden would have done a call on trial reels, and the next day she's like, how many can you do? And he's like, 20 a day, and she's like, hey, that's done. I'm creating 20 a day. So those are the three things. And I think finally being able to take ownership over the situation of like, if you're not where you want to be, or if the results aren't going the way, it's like, okay, what can I be doing differently, and keeping in that headspace. And you've done all of those things incredibly well. And again, I couldn't be happier, more proud for where you are at now and the progress you're making. So just big well done.
Thanks. It's been a journey.
Been a journey.
But yeah, literally couldn't be here without you. So really big thanks to you as well. Keeping me sane.
Keeping you sane. And ready for the next chapter.
Exactly.
Yes,
Exciting stuff.
Yes, team, what is up? Okay, there's a good chance if you're still watching this video, you run your own coaching business and you just heard Spen's journey. I want you understanding the power of client case studies and being able to watch this, because what I'm going to show you in the next clip is how Spen actually started working with me over a year ago. It was through her watching, me sitting down with a different client, going through that client's journey. So I'm going to show you that, and there's going to be something for you at the end where I'm going to give you something for your own coaching business that you can leverage client case studies to build trust and connection and help you convert more clients. When somebody is considering working with you, they don't just want to know what you know, they want evidence. And I have a very good example here of someone in the room. So this was a DM from 13 months ago, and you can see with Spen's message to me here, obviously didn't really know me. There's no trust there at all. So she's in the market looking for some mentorship. That's not really a warm sign. That's like, I'm some bit interested in investing in someone, but there was no indication that I was that person for her, because she didn't know me at all. So instead of going in with a pitch or telling her about my coaching program, I just wanted to show her some evidence, because what she was saying here is she's working full time and she wanted to go all in on the business. I had a client case study where I went through exactly that process. So this was my reply, basically saying, here's a YouTube video with my client Annabelle. She went from 2K to 20K per month in like 7 months. During that time, she was able to leave her full-time job, and I just left that with her. And even at the end, it was very much like, this video should be inspiring for you, and you get an idea of how I work. So it was very much a casual way of just trying to build some trust with her. And obviously I actually, sometimes people might not watch long ones, so I had a short form video as well I just sent her. And that was a reply only an hour and a half later. So I've had a watch, stories really inspiring. I'd love to hear more about your mentorship, how it works, and pricing. And here we are 13 months later. So it just, yeah, yeah. But so it just goes to show, like, I could have, like, I'd say you'd have said yes to a call to hear more about it, but you probably wouldn't have decided on the call. You're like, I'll probably kind of keep doing some research and come back to you. So something like that was able to move the needle. So for you guys, like, how many clients would you have that you could do amazing case studies with? And just kind of going back to the undeniable path of where that lands, just between like the connection and conversion piece, that's where I see kind of the case studies living. So you've built the trust and authority, and the people who are, you know, considering working with you, I think this is a huge area where you can get them over from a conversion piece. And they're so easy to get done as well. Like, you take calls with clients all the time. So it's just structuring this, like, a client has a big win, which I'll get onto in a minute, and just being able to document that. I honestly think this could be one of the most under-leveraged things in your business. You have amazing client results. You have amazing stories that maybe you've never shared with your audience. So there's going to be people who watch Spen's journey and sign up off the back of it. And Spen has signed up off the back of hearing about Annabelle's journey and wanting to get booked on a call, which you would have just seen. So if you feel like this is something you maybe underutilize in your own business, just click below on my Instagram, DM me the word case study, and I'll send you a full framework you can use so you can get on calls with clients, know the questions you need to ask them to have the most compelling stories, and then how you can actually